In the realm of power scaling, there was a phrase called a legacy matchup. See, when creating a matchup for a video, people tend to grab connections between the characters, so the battle and the debate is thematic. That's not to say a matchup can't just be random and fun, but it's common to have some sort of connection between the characters. However, that's where legacy matchups come in. These are matchups that are popular because of their, legacy. They were popular years ago and have usually little connection between them. They are popular because of the matchup's history. Some legacy matchups are still great, but some haven't held up as much. A popular matchup from back in the day was between the fandoms of Star Wars and the Wizarding World, and more specifically, Luke Skywalker and Harry Potter, the main characters of these huge multimedia franchises. The question is, who wins, and was it ever close? My name is Mr. Catface, and this is Catface Versus. This should be going up the same day as Perfect Cell vs Metal Sonic, so be sure to check out my reaction to it on my personal channel. Over here, we're going to focus on versus debate discussion and power scaling questions. The only rule here is to keep it civil. Alright, let's go. We're going to start with Luke Skywalker. Next year, Star Wars will be 50 years old, and the franchise is still receiving new content, and there is a lot of content. The original trilogy, shows, sequels, prequels, games, novels, comics, and one big dumb holiday special. There was a lot of content in the galaxy far, far away. I'm going to focus on consistent canon material, so I will not be talking about any universal scales for Star Wars characters. This is a video covering the legacy of Luke vs. Harry, so I want to mainly look at the material that would have been available at the time this matchup was popular. I don't think Luke Skywalker needs any introduction. He's the main character, or at least one of them, in the Star Wars franchise. The Jedi that was trained for years under the nose of the Empire, who rose up to stop the evil Emperor Palpatine and his own father. Luke is at the apex of power in the realm of Star Wars. He scales to pretty much every other character in the series. There are Wookiees, Rancors, and all sort of terrifying creatures Luke should have no problem dealing with. This would already put him in the building levels of power, just based on the size of them. He's also shaken Star Destroyers, which are pretty freaking huge. These Star Destroyers can also wipe out cities, right off the map, which other Jedi has shown to be able to contend with. Right off the bat, Luke upscales all of this, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. While the movies themselves don't always show on screen how strong these Jedi are, we do know some of the crazy stuff they have done. During the Great Hyperspace Disaster, the High Republic's knights stopped the massive debris that destroyed moons. When calculated, this came out to around city level at a low ball. This is consistent, as Luke can contend with ships like Star Destroyers and Light Cruisers, which can destroy asteroids. This may seem a bit strange, as Luke had to use a ship and tricks to defeat the far weaker AT-AT units, but remember, we are looking at Luke at his full power and his full potential. After all, he did beat Darth Vader, and Vader has way more statements of him being the strongest Jedi and Sith ever, which would include Aja Ventress, who should scale to Night Sister Choral, who can shift moons. Shifting moons is impressive, but not as impressive as retaining the power of the Infant of Sa, like Yarael Poof. The artifact was literally tearing a planet apart, and Yarael Poof was dying as he did that. If a dying Poof can do that, there's no doubt the stronger Jedi, like Luke or Vader, could. And if all that wasn't enough, Jedi Master Kip Doran was clearly weaker than Luke himself, and Kip moved to Singularity, which is, a black hole. That is over a dozen petatons of TNT. This all seems completely insane for a Jedi to do, but remember they have a powerful ally, the Force. The Force exists everywhere, and even in places where there's no time or space. This allows Luke to pick up objects with his mind, pushing or pulling them with just a wave of his hand. He can read minds or brainwash them. He can predict movements, or even see years into the future. He can create barriers and shields and protect himself mentally. The Force allows Luke to have an entire arsenal of abilities with just his mind, making him a menace to defeat. If he wanted, he could just crush or throw organs with the Force. The Force isn't limited in range either, with Jedi being able to talk and sense each other from across the galaxy or even the universe. A Jedi can enhance their own bodies with the Force to increase their physical power, meaning a stray hit wouldn't be enough to hurt them. Even if it did, they can use the Force to heal wounds as well. With all this, it's no wonder Luke is as fast as he is too. It is very consistent in Star Wars lore that Jedi can block lasers moving at light speed, putting just about any and all Jedi in the relativistic range of speed. It wouldn't be a stretch to say Luke is way faster than that, considering pilots without the Force can travel light speed while avoiding projectiles moving just as fast as they are. Despite how many different stories there are, and in the many different mediums there are, it's a bit odd how consistent the power of the Jedis are. They move faster than light and can affect celestial bodies, and this is just looking at material that is consistent with the movies. Diving deeper in Star Wars Legends, you get some crazier stuff that I'm not versed enough to talk in. I just know I see words like complex, multiversal, and out-of-versal thrown around, and I'm just like, I'm here to talk about the funny green man. Though even in Legends, Jedi manipulating stars is pretty common. The Jedi should have to go to war with these stars. Oh! But enough dumb jokes, let's talk about the boy who lived, Harry Potter. There isn't as much extended content for the Wizarding World as there is for Star Wars, but all that means is that we have an easier time deciding what isn't canon. Anything in the books and movies is what I'm using as direct canon, though I don't see any harm using supplementary material like the Cursed Child either. Harry Potter is the boy who lived, raised by his Humpty Dumpty uncle, and sent to Hogwarts to learn the ways of magic, so that one day, he may stop he who must not be named. Harry didn't just learn the ways of magic, he straight up mastered it. Throughout the books and movies, he is shown to use over 70 spells on screen. Not counting spells, he should naturally know by going to Hogwarts. Harry Potter can cast spells that can freeze opponents, shoot fire, cast shields, heal wounds, erase memories, stun or confuse them, turn invisible, teleport, cast illusions, and resist mental attacks, but that's just the beginning. He can use Wingardium Leviosa to levitate objects to use as weapons. With the more Leviosa you use, the more powerful it is, methinks. Expelliarmus disarms his opponent's weapon, leaving them without a defense. This is Potter's preferred method of winning. Accio summons an object to the user, allowing Harry to snatch objects away from others. Expecto Patronum protects Harry from evil and dark beings by summoning a spirit of positive emotion. Lumio Solum casts a beam of light that can blind those in a large area. Sectum Sempra creates cuts over the target's body, as if an invisible force was attacking them. There are also 3 unforgivable curses in the Wizarding World that Harry should be capable of using. Imperio gives Harry complete control over his target, puppeteering their will as if they had none of their own. Crucio inflicts unbearable agony onto the target, leaving them in a most tortured state. The most famous of these curses is the infamous Avada Kedavra, the Killing Curse. With a name like that, it should be obvious the deadly power it wields. Spells would be useless without his wand. His most recent wand is the most powerful Elder Wand, though he does prefer his Holly and Phoenix Feather wand. Both wands are extremely powerful in their own right. Harry also rides upon a broomstick named Firebolt, a strict upgrade to his old Nimbus 2000. This allows Harry to ride at subsonic speeds after objects moving at similar ones. It should be reasonable that spells in the Harry Potter world should move at least this fast, if not faster. Harry is a master duelist, so he should be able to react to anything moving his way that fast. It's a little crazy to think students at Hogwarts are capable of casting and reacting to spells moving hundreds of miles per hour, but hey, they are fantasy wizards after all. He also has the Cloak Invisibility, which allows him to be invisible and move about undetected. Harry is very intelligent in a fight too, being at the top of his class. He went to Hogwarts for 7 years learning magic and collecting magical items. He is the chosen one to defeat the Dark Lord after all. The real question is how powerful these spells are. At a bare minimum, Harry is able to play Quidditch on the same broom that moves at subsonic speeds. He can also withstand being hit by bludgers moving at similar speeds to a wall level yield. That's just physical power. Using spells, he can freeze a person solid to a small building level yield, but that's what any wizard can do, and Harry's clearly above almost every other wizard. Death Eaters like Bellatrix can cast spells that come out to around building level. This is pretty consistent among trained wizards, as the Grinwald's Fire also comes out to around building level. In fact, many explosions in the world of Harry Potter come out to around building level. It makes sense most wizards would be around that level of power. Harry isn't like most wizards though. It's possible he could scale to Lord Voldemort himself, even if it's a bit dubious. The most powerful attack in this series is when Voldemort attacks Hogwarts and destroys the shield protecting the school. The shockwave created by the Dark Lord comes out to around 160 tons of TNT, or around multi-city block level. This is a decent jump in power of about 35 times from the previous strongest attack. It's no wonder magic is hidden from the rest of the world. With just a wave of their hand, wizards can cause massive damage. Harry, especially in his adult years, is so powerful and respected, it wouldn't be a shock if he can recreate anything Voldemort did in his prime. Dumbledore and Voldemort are considered the strongest wizards ever, but Harry is definitely the best ever. The boy who lived is also the boy who saved the Wizarding World, and didn't resort to power or killing to do it. He used Expelliarmus during their final battle, proving that even if he wasn't as strong, his will and strategy were more powerful than Voldemort's magic. Well, who wins? For being such a popular matchup over the years, it is shockingly one-sided. Harry has more abilities than Luke overall, well, that's where the good things end for him. Both are smart and quite amazing what they do, but Luke's resume is much more impressive. Luke can destroy planets or even stars, while Harry can destroy buildings and possibly a city block. The highest end of multi-city block and the lowest end of small planet is 100 quadrillion times difference in favor of the Jedi. Even using the lower ends for Luke still puts him around city to mountain level, far above the best scaling for Harry. Now, this isn't the end-all be-all, as Harry has spells that could kill Luke regardless of power, like the Unforgivable Curses. It's debatable if Harry would even use these against an opponent who has a heroic as himself, but for the sake of argument, let's say he would. Harry's win condition is for him to hit a single time with Avada Kedavra, while Luke could hit Harry with literally anything. The Force is everywhere and Luke can weaponize it in many ways, including just crushing Harry Potter with his fist. Harry's spells could move between 150 and 300 miles per hour, but Luke can react to light consistently. It's true Harry has one spell that moves that fast, but it only blinds, which means nothing to a Jedi that trains to fight without sight. Luke can also just disarm Harry using the Force or brainwash him. Harry can resist both these things, but not from a user as strong as Luke. Luke's lightsaber and Force shields can block anything Harry throws at him, so Harry doesn't even have a way of hurting him directly. Some spells, like Sectum Sempra or Wingardium Leviosa, may disorient Luke, but nothing he can't instantly recover from. Even if Harry acioed the lightsaber away, Luke doesn't need it to crush Harry or to create shields. But this debate has always been strictly the movies, and Luke has only really been the main character of the original trilogy. If we just look at that, does he still win? Well, his speed wouldn't change, as he still pilots those lightspeed crafts during combat. His powers are mostly the same, even if Luke is missing an ability or two. He doesn't need him to crush Harry instantly. Most importantly, Luke's power doesn't change very much. Recall one of Vader's most iconic scenes. He says, "The ability to destroy a planet is insignificant next to the power of the Force." Now, this could be Vader foreshadowing how Luke used the Force to guide him to victory with the Death Star. With everything else the Force has done, it's not hard to believe Vader is playing it straight, especially since Vader has stated several times to be the Empire's most powerful weapon. One who is truly bonded with the Force can destroy a planet no problem, and Luke in the original trilogy is on par with Vader, who said this. Even just looking at the original trilogy, Luke still wins. This was never close. Well, that was the video. What do you think? Did you think this was ever close? Or do you even think Harry Potter wins? Did you learn something about Star Wars or Harry Potter? Let me know in the comments below. Until then, this is Mr. Catface, signing off. God bless.